So you love the co-working environment. But are you a good fit for a co-working space? Within a collaborative office space, every worker has to get along in order to create a productive ambience. So what can you do to become a better co-worker? These 5 tips can help you to easily become one of the most liked guys in the office. Maybe. 1. Respect the space. Co-working is all about sharing a space. Therefore, the space that you are working in belongs to everybody in it. It's important to treat a co-working space with respect. Because when you respect the space, others will respect you. Keep your desk neat and tidy, pick up after yourself before you leave for the day, and mind others' belongings within the space. Offer to do more chores around the space than you normally would. This may mean emptying the dishwasher, locking up after work, changing out toilet paper, and making coffee more than others do. In addition, don't hog bandwidth, meeting rooms, and desk space. It's these little things that make a difference, and it all starts with respecting the space in which you work in. 2. Actually co-work. If you're stationed at a co-working space and treat it like your own personal office, you may not be in the right location. Co-working offices are built for interaction, so keep in mind that you are highly encouraged to interact with the people around you. Bounce ideas off of other co-workers, give expert advice to those who ask for it, and encourage the people around you to work hard. 3. Make the coffee. Coffee makes the world go round, especially in a co-working space. In a collaborative office, making tea and coffee for everybody becomes a much appreciated activity. 1 rule of thumb: never leave an empty coffee pot. Allow coffee to percolate throughout the day and your co-workers will be happy campers. 4. Treat your co-workers. To become everybody's favorite co-worker, you only have to do one simple thing: bring treats. The office will love having occasional treats every once in a while. They provide a great break for the hard workers and a medication for people with a sweet tooth. Bring cookies, cupcakes, fruit, and even leftovers to the office to share with others. And if it's somebody's birthday, bring something extra special for that person. Treats bring happiness to an office environment. 5. Lower the volume. If there is one thing that will annoy your co-workers, it's loud, obnoxious volume levels. A co-working space must provide the right sound balance in order for effective work to be done, but are you disrupting the peace? If you want to play your own music, it is best to wear headphones. Having multiple songs playing in an office can cause a headache to everyone. Additionally, if you have a long phone conference that you must conduct, it is best to take it to a meeting room for privacy. Keep your voice at a respectable level throughout the workday. Implement these 5 tips into your everyday co-working routine and you're sure to be the least annoying, best treat-giving, idea-bouncing, coffee-offering guy in the office. And who wouldn't want to be that? Now let's discuss how to deal with conflict with co-workers. When working with countless types of different personalities for 8 to 10 hours a day, conflicts may arise at times. Getting along with certain co-workers can be challenging, if not impossible. Workplace relationships have a significant effect on how you behave. Good relationships can make the workday more enjoyable and help you become more successful, while bad relationships can be distracting and a waste of valuable time. To nurture the good relationships and steer clear of the bad ones, there are certain behaviors to embrace and others to avoid while at the workplace. Here are 7 tips on how to get along with your co-workers. Communication is key. The best way to get to know someone is to spend some time together and talk to them. Find something you share in common. Do they have kids, work out, like sports, visit the same coffee shop, etc.? However, refrain from using the information obtained from gossip about fellow co-workers, which is known to bring people together but has a negative effect on the workplace atmosphere. Keep your emotions in check. Avoid displaying negative behaviors, such as physical discomfort, avoiding eye contact, or even hostility, when face-to-face with a co-worker you don't particularly like or care for. Learn how to control your emotions, agree to disagree, and most importantly be respectful regardless of your true feelings. Be helpful. Find ways to go above and beyond your core job functions. Keeping your head down and just doing your work for 8 to 10 hours a day will not get you very far. Offer to help an overwhelmed co-worker, bring in baked goods, or simply hold the door or elevator. Smile and say hello. One of the easiest ways to keep positive energy going is to smile and say hello to everyone. It's a great way to start a conversation with a coworker you don't know very well, or it merely acknowledges them during a busy workday. Make it a goal to be remembered as positive Polly, not negative Nancy. Work on your social skills. A large part of getting along with coworkers is being able to read the social signs. Particularly with group discussions, analyze the situation and conform accordingly. In other words, gauge your audience first, then modify your persona just enough to form a bond. The opposite would be to expect the social situation to conform to you, which can lead to social awkwardness and uncomfortable situations. Never assume. You know the saying about making assumptions. Before overreacting to any given situation, remember to remain calm and get all the facts first. Get clarification, in a non-hostile manner, from the parties involved and try to gain some perspective as to where your co-workers are coming from, because it might have nothing to do with you. Only after taking some time to process all the information should you react using the proper chain of command. Avoid office politics. It's best to sidestep office politics altogether. Do not get caught up in the perplexing game of picking sides, identifying the good guys and bad guys, or brown-nosing. It's best to stay neutral and focused, and always be yourself. In closing, remember to consistently practice good office etiquette each and every day. It might make the difference between starting a good relationship with a coworker or bad one with a coworker that will eventually need to be addressed. Do you have any tips to add or any funny anecdotes to share of coworker relationships gone wrong? Scenes from the movie Office Space always come to mind when discussing how to get along with coworkers. If those tips are not enough for you, here are additional ways you can handle coworkers. Do you love your job but hate your coworkers? If you're pulling your hair out or plotting out ways to bludgeon your coworker, without getting caught, with a paperweight read on. Unfortunately, your first thought might be to resign from your current position. That is not always necessary. Sure, it might be easiest to cut and run when facing difficult or unruly coworkers, but is it the right move? If the job is worth it, you do have other options rather than leaving. It will take some work and maybe a different outlook, but if this is the job of a lifetime, it is probably worth the effort. So what do you do if you find yourself caught up in a situation wrought with complications, problems, and conflict? Know that there are definitely steps for you to take. By taking these key steps, it is possible that you will be able to keep your job and retain your income. You will probably love that, right? There are a lot of ways to deal with difficult coworkers. Planning and taking the right steps can make all the difference. Clearly, these steps are for those careerists who can and want to handle these matters on their own. This is your career, and your personal decision, so use your own best judgment because it's essential. Assess the situation and examine the ways that you might be able to handle or deal with your coworker. Take all circumstances into consideration. Remember that a small conflict might be something you can handle on your own, but serious problems call for other actions. You have to decide what type of conflict this is, small or serious. That in mind, ask yourself if you're able to speak calmly and reasonably with your coworker privately. It is important that you be able to speak carefully with your coworker. Clearly, you will want to be pleasant and friendly. If you feel you are able to speak with your coworker and he would be receptive, it would be essential that you remain professional in tone and in action, and of course approach them with no attitude. Some people don't even realize that even a bit of tone or attitude can actually make matters worse. Let's say you're having difficulties with a coworker who can't complete projects on time. An approach that might work well would be to offer to help by creating a timeline or a schedule. If your coworker wears perfume or cologne that actually triggers migraines, you could preface the conversation with an explanation about complications that arise due to the scent. What is important is that you have to decide if this is the right course of action. Keeping the lines of communication open is usually an approach that works. However, as mentioned in the above, it is essential that you remember that there can be extenuating circumstances, and those should always be taken into consideration. You decide what is best in your situation. Clearly, you would not want to come to any harm. If you feel it is necessary at any time, involve your supervisor. And, if you have already communicated with your coworker and have not seen any positive change, you might want to take the issue to your supervisor. Again, this is your job and your decision, so when doing something like this you will always want to use your best judgment. The above-mentioned steps are just a couple that you can take if you're having difficulties with your coworkers. One last reminder though is to exercise sound judgment when handling situations with your coworkers. The hope here is that you will be able to keep your hair, keep your job and avoid bludgeoning anyone. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time.